How's it going, everybody? Hope everyone's having a great night. How's it going, everybody? Great to see everybody. Hope everyone's having a great night. It's going to be a tough discussion tonight. I've been looking through more carefully through Bill C-9, and my God, the more you read into exactly what they're doing with Bill C-9, the scarier it gets. Holy mackerel. I hope that everybody's having a great night. Thanks so much for everybody being here. Hey Danny, hey Salon, hey Jeanette, hey Lilac, hey Marion, hey everybody. Hope that everybody's having a great night. What I wanted to start with tonight, and just a reminder, if everybody who's here could hit like and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, that'd be great. Really helps me out with the algorithm, and really appreciate it. Hope everyone's having a great night. What I wanted to start with tonight is Bill C-9. Hey everybody, hope everyone's having a great night. Thanks so much everybody for being here. Hope everybody is having a great night. Hey Sonny, how's it going? How's it going, everybody? Hope everyone's having a great night. What I want to start with tonight is Bill C-9, the so-called what they're claiming is that it's a bill to combat hate speech in Canada. But the more that I read into it, the more I look into it, my God, it is incredibly scary, particularly if you are a religious Canadian. They are attempting, the Liberal Party of Canada is attempting to delegitimize silence people who are opponents of this government. That is 100% what their goal is with this bill. And it actually, what it does is it actually repeals parts of the criminal code. You're exactly right. It's the thought police. What it actually does is it repeals parts of the criminal code that are meant to protect religious freedoms in particular. They're going directly after Canadians' God-given right to speak their mind. Hey, Wally, how's it going? Great to see everybody. They're going directly at your right to speak your mind, and particularly to read religious texts. My God, if I was a pastor right now at a church, I would be nervous as hell. Literally, they are attempting to pass a bill that would outlaw reading passages from the Old Testament. You're absolutely right. Bill C-9 makes Mark Carney look like a dictator. You're absolutely right. I'm very hopeful. I'm not sure how many of you guys saw it, but I thought it was fantastic news. Hey, Sonny, how's it going? I thought that it was fantastic news that Pierre is actually going on the Joe Rogan podcast. And I really hope that they're going to talk about Bill C-9. Just a reminder for everybody here, if you could like, subscribe, and any super chats will go toward the legal challenge I am going to be mounting against Bill C-9 as soon as it's passed. I spent the majority of today looking through the most efficient, effective way to challenge Bill C-9. I believe that the most effective way to challenge it is through the repeal of religious speech through the criminal code. But my God, it is an even more abrasive attack on our right to speak freely than you would have ever known. For those who haven't seen, there are already, prior to Bill C-9 being passed, there are already people in Toronto who are having their doors knocked on for social media posts. And I've run a couple pieces of scripture from the Old Testament through several AI systems. If you're interested in supporting Jeff, there's a link below with a Stripe code. There's my Stripe. I can leave it in the chat. Any donations will go directly towards supporting the legal challenge that I am going to pass as soon. The minute after Bill C-9 has passed, I'm going to be mounting a legal challenge, and I'm currently researching the most effective way to go about that legal challenge, because obviously there's several ways to do it. I just left the Stripe. Thank you so much, Elaine, for becoming a frontline supporter. So thank you so much. I so appreciate it. Any donations will go towards, as soon as Bill C-9 has passed, I am going to go, the most effective way to challenge this bill is through the Superior Court, through the provincial Superior Court. And in my opinion, the most effective way to attack it is that, as currently constructed, it's looking as though Bill C-9 is going to pass sometime. Thank you so much for the super chat, Sonny. Thank you so much. God bless. Thank you so much, Sonny. I so appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super, so much. So Bill C-9 Bill C-9 currently under the Criminal Code of Canada, there is a protection for religious texts, thank God, so that these hate speech laws these hate speech laws, yeah, thank you, Sonny. These hate speech laws cannot stop a pastor from reading the Old Testament, for example. They're repealing that. They are repealing no, Sonny, I so appreciate your support. They are repealing from the criminal code protections for religious text. So just one example that I came across that you could now be jailed for is Leviticus 18:22, which states that thou shalt not sleep with mankind, only womankind. It is an abomination. This is just one example of religious speech from the Old Testament. And regardless of what your feeling is on homosexuality, on gay marriage, I think that we can all agree that directly quoting from the Old Testament should, in a free country, should certainly never be illegal, And that, in all likelihood, after the passage of Bill C-9, we are going to see Canadian pastors, Canadian religious speakers. You're going to leave because the chat. No, Sonny, I apologize. I can promise you, I'm not surveying anybody in the chat. It must be YouTube. I apologize if anybody's message isn't getting through on the chat. I don't have any limits. It must be YouTube. I apologize for that. If anybody's sending any messages that aren't going through, I promise everybody, I'm not modding anybody. It must be YouTube removing messages. I apologize if anybody's messages can't be seen. Sorry about that. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks so much, Jeff. Thanks so much for becoming a member. I really support it. I really appreciate it. But so what I need to do right now in order to challenge Bill C-9, I know several people had mentioned that a class action lawsuit they believed was the most effective way to go at Bill C-9. But upon quite a bit of research, I believe that the most effective way to go about it is to find religious leaders in the community who obviously preach on a weekly basis, because these are the guys who are in all likelihood going to be in the direct line of fire. Hey, Kat, welcome. In the direct line of fire is priests. We've already seen in the UK who actually have a bill that is less extreme than Bill C-9 that has been passed. We are seeing that priests have been arrested because they have literally quoted the Bible. One example I mentioned, Leviticus 18:22, thou shalt not sleep with mankind, only womankind. It is an abomination. For simply reading scripture like this, they have been arrested and jailed. There are several high-profile cases that are currently going on in the UK. And I think that this is our most effective way to challenge this bill, because this is, do not get it twisted, this is the thought police arriving to Canada. You can expect, I've already seen several Canadians had their door knocked on a regular basis. How's it going, everybody? Great to see everybody. I've already seen people have their door knocked on for social media posts. And this is before Bill C-9 has even passed. Can you imagine once this bill is actually passed, what it's going to look like in this country? I say with an incredibly high level of certainty that hundreds of Canadians on a weekly basis are now going to be being approached by police. And can you imagine, with the number of issues that we have in this country? We have 750,000 people in the country illegally right now. We have millions of people who are on expiring visas who say they're not going to leave. If you search, you can literally find thousands of Canadians saying, I'm on an expiring visa. I am not going to leave. Why is the government of Canada focused on shutting down Canadians' legally protected speech under Section 2B of our Charter of Rights and Freedoms? It's clear as day to me. It is clear as day that Section 2B of our Charter of Rights and Freedoms protects our God-given right to speak our mind, regardless of what the government of Canada says. So the government is going to waste millions of dollars a year, police resources going door to door, attacking Canadians for voicing opinions that they don't agree with. While at the same time, we are going to have millions of Canadians in this not millions of Canadians, millions of people in this country illegally, beyond a shadow of a doubt. How about we divert those police resources rather than policing speech in this country, watching what people say? What we should actually be doing, let's spend those resources on removing the people who are here illegally, who are leeches on the system, who we spent over $1 billion last year on new arrivals to the country. It's absolutely insane the amount of money that we are spending on these gimmicks coming into the country who have absolutely zero correlation to the settlers who arrived here hundreds of years ago. It's an absolute joke. The system is set up so that they can leech off the system. Why don't we take the millions of dollars that we're going to spend going door to door with police services for speech, for Canadians exercising their God-given right to speak their mind? And that right does not come from the Liberal Party of Canada. That right does not come from the Mark Carney. That right comes from God. It's not up to the Liberal Party to determine what I am and I'm not allowed to say. What we should be doing is diverting those resources to removing the people who are in the country here illegally. Because when you look at an immigration chart, I mean, we can all agree it's total insanity. It was always 150,000 to 200,000 people a year before that clown Justin Trudeau was elected. Always 150,000, 200,000 people who were forced to assimilate. They came here, high-skilled workers, they assimilated. Now it's the exact opposite of that. It is the exact opposite of that. Thanks so much, John. Really appreciate it. I really appreciate it, John. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for everybody who supports. I'm going to be giving daily updates once Bill C-9 passes and I actually am able to file the lawsuit with the Superior Court of Canada, because I think there is an incredibly strong case. The further I look into it, it becomes more and more apparent that exactly Section 2B, which guarantees Canadians freedom of expression. There's no doubt in my mind. Thank you so much. God bless, Jason. Really appreciate it. There's no doubt in my mind that Bill C-9 violates Section 2B of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. But it's just about figuring out the most effective way to attack this bill. That's fundamentally what it's about, because these things are complicated. Of course, in the Canadian court system, they don't make it easy to do. But I believe I am going to challenge on the religious freedoms aspect of it. In terms of the immigration, it's so insane what's gone on in this country. It was always 150, 200,000 people a year. Hey, Zita, how's it going? I hope you're having a good one. Thank you so much, Teresa, for the kind words. So appreciate it. It was always 150, 200,000 people coming in a year. And then in 2015, those numbers all of a sudden out of nowhere exploded. And now they're up to 1.4, 1.5 million people a year. And we know that the argument, no, thank you so much for being here, Zita. And we know that the argument, we know with 100% certainty that the argument that this is beneficial to our economy is total BS. It's basic supply and demand. Look at the statistics. In 1970, 53% of Canadians in 1970 could afford to have both own a house and be married. 53%. You want to know what that number is in 2026? That number is 13. We have gone as a country in about 50 years from 53% of people at the age of 30 owning a home and being married to that number dropping to 13%. And you know what the biggest difference is over that time? The two biggest differences are the total BS Multiculturalism Act, as well as mass immigration to this country. The mass immigration is unprecedented, it's insane, and it is not a boon to our economy. It's a total red herring. The reason that we have the housing crisis that we have right now, sorry, Luna, I don't moderate anything in the chat. I apologize for anybody who's not getting through, but it's YouTube. It's absolutely 100%. It's immigration. The reason that we have the housing crisis that we have right now, the reason that we have the social services crisis that we have right now, the average wait time if you go to an emergency room in Canada right now is about 20 hours. I've heard story after disgusting story of sick elderly people showing up in emergency rooms and being immediately offered MAID. The immigration, all of a sudden letting 1.3, 1.4, 1.5 million people into the country when you're only building 200,000 houses a year. It does not require an economics degree. It does not require a great intellect to figure out that this mass immigration has been absolutely devastating for the Canadian people and for the Canadian economy. There is absolutely no doubt about it. The statistics don't lie. You cannot lie about the stats. The mass immigration to this country, as well as Pierre Elliott Trudeau's ridiculous Multiculturalism Act, have become absolute disasters for this country. You cannot go anywhere now in Canada without feeling as though you're either in the Middle East or India. I have no problem with India. Nobody's allowed to say, no, what's so crazy is nobody would ever call you a racist, call you a xenophobe if you said India was for Indians, China was for the Chinese. But sorry if it's cutting out, guys. It seems fine for me. I apologize, guys, if anybody's having issues with the live stream. But if you say that Canada should be, first and foremost, the government of Canada should be looking out for the Canadian people, you are deemed some sort of a racist, a xenophobe. It's a total psyop. It's a complete psyop brought onto you by the Liberal Communist Party of Canada that is doing everything that they can to destroy this country. It is being done intentionally. This is not a mistake. This is absolutely not a mistake. Mark Carney is literally on film. Thank you so much for the super chat, Jeff. God bless. Thank you, Jeff. So appreciate it. Thank you, Jeff. Really appreciate it. It's undoubtedly true. It's undoubtedly true that the mass immigration has been a disaster for our economy, and they will lie about it to our faces. They will lie about it to our faces. But Mark Carney is literally on camera. We have footage of Mark Carney in the House of Commons in 2012, the guy who's been the governor of Bank of England, governor of Bank of Canada, saying directly to the Canadian people that mass immigration hurts the native population. Mark Carney has said this himself. He knows it. They'll gaslight you. They'll lie to you. But the government of Canada knows. They are extremely well aware that this mass immigration is what's damaging our economy so poorly. And it's because the Liberal Party of Canada, they work for the WF, for Davos, for Brookfield Asset Management, for these elite global bankers that bringing in a massive class of low-skilled, essentially SLAVE labor is fantastic for them. If you think that Mark Carney is working on behalf of the Canadian people, I have a bridge to sell you. Mark Carney is not working on behalf of the Canadian people. He has spent the entirety of his life outside of this country. He has not lived in Canada. And the institutions that he has worked for, the WF, Davos, Brookfield Asset Management, literally work against the best interests of the citizens in Western countries. It's beyond a shadow of a doubt. He was involved. He talks all tough about Trump. He was involved heavily in the bailout, Jared Kushner's bailout. This man has worked with Donald Trump throughout the entire of his career when he worked at Brookfield Asset Management. And now this government, because they know they're becoming increasingly unpopular, they are now attempting to shut speech down in Canada. They know they're becoming more and more unpopular. Do not for a second believe these polls that are coming out that say that Carney's becoming more popular. This is state-funded media. They are lying. they are lying to you. Mark Carney is not popular in Canada. They can lie to you with the polls. I guarantee you it is not true. I'm telling you that with 100% certainty. The more frequently that people see this spineless creep, which is what Mark Carney is, a spineless creep, the more frequently people see this spineless creep, the less popular that he is. This spineless cretin is here to destroy this country. And the more that people see this man speak, the more obvious it is how ungenuine and how unpatriotic he is. Have you ever seen a man get up to speak and speak the way that Mark Carney does? It's the most telltale sign of a sociopathic liar, somebody who frequently goes, every second word. He's asked any question. I'll give you one example. He was recently asked on March 1st, Canada's base in Iran was bombed. Camp Canada in Kuwait was bombed. The Liberal Party of Canada attempted to cover it up because they're a bunch of spineless cowards. When Carney was finally asked about it, because La Presse managed to report on it, when Carney finally was asked about it, this is how Carney responded. There was an incident. No Canadians were injured. We will not be involved with the attack. I'm not kidding you. That's how he responds. The only person you would have to be, I know that Canada is filled of many brainwashed, brain dead liberals because I see them in my comments. And particularly now that I'm posting on Twitter and TikTok, I see them. And guys, you have to give us a lot of credit to be common sense Canadians, common sense conservatives living in modern day Canada. I think we all deserve a pat on the back because the number of zombies, the number of woke psych ward patients, because I truly believe that the vast majority of the woke DEI crowd are the crowd that would have been in a straitjacket. They would have been in a straitjacket 50 years ago. Let's be honest. The vast majority of liberal voters in the good old days when they had insane asylums open, they would have been in the insane asylums. I seriously think that. Even the vibe, I don't know about you guys, but even now, I live in Montreal. So they have brain worms attached to their necks. That's very true. And you can always tell when they have the funny colored hair. And even just being around them, I frequently, just based on their energy, you think to yourselves, these people belong in straitjackets. These people belong in straitjackets. It's dead serious. It's dead serious. These people are deluded, but that's only a relatively small percentage of the population, a small percentage of the population overall. And you cannot tell me, I still have faith in Canadians, because everybody knows if you have ancestors who fought World War I, World War II, fought to defend this country, Canadian soldiers were always known as the most courageous, bravest soldiers. We have a lot of common sense, smart people. And you cannot tell me that Captain spineless creep comes across well to the Canadian people. I refuse to believe it. This man has the least charisma I've ever seen, and he has just dead eyes. And it's such a telltale sign that you are laughing. So my apologies that you are laughing. It's such a telltale sign that you are lying when you are constantly having to inhibit your speech by going, like when you're talking like that, the only reason that a normal human being speaks in that manner is because they have to be so slow, so calculated in what it is that they're saying. He looks like a guy, you know what he reminds me of? It reminds me of one of those guys who you'd go, when you go to somebody's funeral and they have the casket open and people go to pay their respects. Stephen's like, his brain is glitching. Exactly. His brain is glitching. When you go to a funeral home, and we have the best soldiers. Canadian soldiers were always as being the most courageous, the toughest. But Carney's the type of guy, he reminds you, you go to the funeral and you walk up front and you go to pay your respects. And Mark Carney, he's there. He's in the casket. Like that's what he looks like. He's pale because he's certainly pale enough to be dead. And then he just goes like this. And he looks at you and you're going, what the hell? Like he looks like he's already dead. And he speaks like he's already dead. His mannerisms, he's either the man in the casket, or I don't know how many of you guys saw. He was in the UK. Thanks so much for the super chat, man and van. Thanks so much. Exactly. God bless. Thank you so much. Brookfield, Davos. I think you're exactly right. That's what's going on in his brain. It's Brookfield, Davos, Brookfield. That's 100% constantly what's going on in his brain. But just when you look at the man's face, he looks like a mortician. Like he looks like the guy that you'd show up in a funeral home, and it's the guy in the casket, like the model. You know what I mean? You maybe at a fancy funeral home, they show you what the body looks like in the casket. That's what Mark Carney looks like. And then when he starts speaking, it's the exact same thing. And if you guys notice also, when he walks around, it's always like, he's always like hunched over like this, like, because he's that liberal that they make fun of. He's the liberal that's like hunched over like this, like, it's like, who is this guy? Like, come on. Canada used to be such a proud and tough country. We were always known for being such a proud and tough country. You read about the stories of the Canadian soldiers, World War I, World War II. We were the best. And you're telling me that our best and our bravest that were fighting in World War II, if they were brought back or they're still alive and they're seeing that, you're seeing like, this is Mark. Like this, you're telling me that this man has a, whatever the CBC is saying, you're telling me that this man has they're saying he has like a 70% approval rating. There is no way that is true. I'm sorry. I do not believe this skinny fat is the new fit. And even, you know what's even funnier? He's in the UK. And first of all, he's on a run. He's out on a run. It's like, hey, you jackass, you're supposed to be an economist. And his teeth are so weird too. It's like half of his teeth are missing. I think it's from selling his soul or something. But all of his teeth are missing. He looks like a little rat. He's like, and then you know what? The best, yeah, exactly. You never saw a skeleton run before. And then I think the most disturbing thing that I've ever seen on Twitter is I turned it on, and when he's in the UK, he's on a run. So I literally open my Twitter, and this is what I see. I see Carney. You can't see any of his teeth, and he's like, and I'm like, there's no way. There's absolutely no chance that this man is popular among the, like, who is he appealing to? Who looks at that and says, thank you. Who looks at that and says that this guy's appealing? Like, this is literally like it's literally like when you enter hell. It's like, this is what you see Mark Carney. Like, it reminds me of if you go to hell, this is the first image that you see. And he's popular. I do not buy it. Do not believe any of the polling that you see on this man. Do not believe one bit of the polling. I love that. Exactly. He is Mr. Burns. I think, thank you. You know what? I need to start pulling out some more of these imitations. He is Mr. Burns. He is Mr. Burns. He's Mr. Burns, but he's even worse. I didn't think that this was possible, but I think he actually has less charisma than Mr. Burns. I don't know if you guys saw, but exactly, I know the thought police. I'm allowed to. This is our current prime minister. Come and arrest me. Like, I mean, to be honest with you, how can you even be scared of a police force of which this man is the leader? I'm dead serious about this. How can you? Yeah, the cops are outside right now. Mark Carney saw this stream and he's truly perturbed. Oh my God, a free Canadian speaking their mind. Go arrest him. Go arrest him and immediately charge him $100,000 carbon tax fine. It's an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke. But I don't understand it. How is it possible that this guy is on a This man is on vacation right now. He's on a week-long vacation. He's supposed to be an economic expert. He's supposed to be an economic expert. I'm going to speak about that soon, Critter. Speak about that soon. I file a lawsuit as soon as it passes. He's supposed to be an economic expert. We have a youth unemployment rate of 14.1%. We have a total unemployment rate of 6.7%. When you consider the people who have stopped looking for work, in all likelihood, it's a couple percentage points higher than that. The 2.2 million Canadians are using food banks a year, and now Mark Carney is on vacation. He's literally on a vacation right now. He's scurrying around on his little vacation. He's going on a run. And the craziest thing too is whenever he's in the UK, he's always, if you notice, he's just in the UK, and Brookfield Asset Management is announcing another huge deal. Like, it's so obvious right in front of our eyes that he's scamming us all. He does not care he's more of a rat than a chipmunk. He does not give a goddamn how the Canadian people are doing. All he cares about is enriching himself. But how do people fall for this? How do people fall for this uncharismatic, this creep? And then you might say, oh, but maybe he has some great ministers. But no, like Melanie Jolie. I don't know who saw Melanie Jolie. Melanie Jolie is always out there. She's talking about EVs, and she's literally like this. She's like, we will be the EV leader in the world. And she's literally, it's so clear she's drunk as hell. She's clearly drunk off her mind. Whenever I see her in the House of Commons, she's like, her eyes are barely open, and she's like, on va être les plus bons, les EV. And she can barely spit a line out. And this is the woman who's in charge of our economy. It's crazy. Like, this cast of characters that they've put together. Big rat. I love that. He is a big rat. That's very well. But this entire cast of characters, like, what a pathetic group that they put together. Who finds these people charismatic? You Carney trots out, and then Jolie shows up, and then Anita Anand, who's like one of the most unattractive. Hey, Sonny, how's it going? Sorry if your chats aren't going through. It must be YouTube. My apologies for that. It's the most unattractive group of people I've ever seen. And Anita Anand is going out there, and she's lecturing us, and it's just like, who finds these people appealing? They do sniff a lot, particularly. And then there's Mark Miller, whose face is pulled back like this, and he's the guy who's let in. He's the guy who's let in like 1.5 million people a year. And then Mark Miller's walking around like this, and he's like, anybody who says anything about immigration, he's like, you're racist. You're racist. It's just like, he's another evil guy. And then they have Sean Fraser, who has like the longest face, like the longest skinny face I've ever seen. And he's like, and I just, the entire cast of characters, guys, you're very smart to quit. The entire cast of characters is just so unappealing. It's such an unappealing group, and such an obvious group of grifters, that I think to myself, I think to myself, who finds this stuff appealing? Who finds this stuff appealing? They're a bunch of drunks. They're gross. Oh, good news, guys. I actually wanted to tell you about this. I wasn't aware of this. I just figured this out. I am going to try and get approved for this. The Liberal Party of Canada is actually holding their convention in April, in early April. The Liberal Party of Canada. Yeah, sorry about that, Sonny. If anybody is monitored, I'm not removing anything. It must be YouTube. I apologize. Oh yeah, and Freeland. Oh my God, I once saw Freeland in a coffee shop, and I gave her the death stare. She's a creep. She's a little weirdo, but she's one of those like really little people, and she's a weirdo. Thank God she's in Ukraine. Thank God she's in Ukraine. I am going to get to C9. I am going to be challenging C9. Absolutely. Hope you have a good night. But the Liberal Party of Canada, is going to be. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks so much for the super chat, Jeff. Thank you so much. And just a reminder, everybody, if you could like and subscribe, it really helps the channel out. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe. All super chats will go towards my eventual challenge of Bill C-9. So please like, subscribe if you're not already. Any super chats are so appreciated. Thank you so much, guys. I so appreciate the support. So the Liberal Party of Canada, is going to be hosting their convention in early April. So I applied to get in. So I'm hoping to actually get in, and I'll be posting obviously everything to YouTube because I want to get in these criminals' faces. I'm gonna get in these criminals' faces every single day if I can, and they are going to be very close to where I live. Yeah, Freeland's a Garden Gnome. You're exactly right. Freeland is 100% a Garden Gnome. They can't go. So yeah, it's going to be wild. So in early April, the Liberal Party of Canada, yeah, shave your beard and go incognito. That's a good idea. The Liberal Party of Canada is going to be hosting their convention. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to get a Canadian flag soon. Let me know if you think there's anything else I should stick up here to improve this, but I need to have a Canadian flag behind me. I'm going to pick one up soon. But the Liberal Party of Canada in April is going to be hosting their convention. So I've already applied. I don't know if they're watching, they know my YouTube or anything, because I don't think they're going to let me in if they know who I am. But I am going to just go stand out there. It's being held very close to where I live. So I'm going to get out there. So if you guys have any questions you want me to ask when they come, exactly, it's make Ukraine great again. You're 100% right. If you guys have any questions that you want me to ask, please let me know, because I am going to, exactly, yeah. Thank you so much to everybody who's donated. I so appreciate it. Thank you so much to everybody who supported. I so appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. It lets me put the work in, put the effort in every day. Thank you so much. So the Liberal Party of Canada is going to be hosting their convention, and I'm going to be getting in their face every single day that they're here. Just so you know, I'll be posting it to YouTube, posting it to TikTok, posting it to Twitter, but I am going to be getting into these people's faces every single day. And I saw one great piece of news, because this new media, these podcasts online, are so incredibly important. Pierre Poilievre today went on Joe Rogan. It hasn't been released yet, but Pierre went on Joe Rogan, which in my estimation is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. I wish he had gone on in the run-up to the election. But it's huge. It's absolutely huge. That's the biggest podcast in the world. So to get on there, I think is going to do a huge deal. And I pray that he spoke about B9. Thanks so much, Marion. Thanks so much for being here, Marion. Hopefully see you Friday at 7. Thank you so much, Marion. Have a good night. It's a huge deal. Yep. Pierre went on Rogan. Pierre went on Rogan today, and they'll all be covering it. But thank God. The actual podcast hasn't been released yet. Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. But what we have to do is continue pushing online, because these digital spaces are getting more and more important. CBC is losing more and more viewership every day. More people are getting their information from these online spaces. So it's so crucial that we continue to push, and also that we actually do things like, as soon as Bill C-9 is passed, actually challenge it in a court of law. No, the PPC is, I think the PPC is very good. My only question is whether they can actually win an election, whether or not the PPC can actually win an election. I'm a little bit skeptical. Did you guys see today? Yeah, the CBC should not be receiving another penny of Canadian taxpayer dollars. Not another penny of Canadian taxpayer dollars. I'm not sure if you guys saw today, but there is a man, a former prostitute, a so-called trans woman, but a man who is now running for mayor of Hamilton, and the Juno News reported on it and called him a man because he's a man. And this man who became a woman, we all know it's total BS. This man who became a woman is running for mayor of Hamilton, and he's now suing Juno News. He now is suing Juno News because they referred to him as a him. It's so crazy. This was a former prostitute. We are living in the kingdom of degeneracy. For anybody who hasn't seen that story, you know you're in a fallen society when people claim that a man can become a woman and a woman can become a man. It's so crazy. It's just it's obviously just totally mentally unwell people. It's a large group. It's an extremely large group of mentally unwell people. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But we now live in a country that rewards this type of behavior. This man has stated that he is going to sue Juno News for misgendering him. He is going to sue Juno News for misgendering him. It's the definition of insanity, but in Canada, these are the types of lawsuits that we're seeing on a relatively regular basis now. No, so the Pierre on Joe Rogan hasn't been released yet. They sent out a couple of photos on social media so people know that he went on, but the actual podcast itself has not been released at this point. Yes, there was a BC trustee who spoke up about saying his belief that a man could not become a woman and a woman could not become a man, which, of course, and he was fined $750,000. The absolute dictionary definition of insanity. The dictionary definition of insanity that we are now seeing on a daily basis in this country. And I find it so funny with these liberals now consistently talking down on the United States of America when it's like, we could not survive. Canada as a country could not survive without the United States of America. Have you seen our military? We're 15,000 military members short. We could not defend. We're already becoming a vassal state of the Chinese. There's absolutely zero shot in hell that we could defend our northern border without Chinese defense. Up north, there's absolutely zero chance. There's absolutely zero chance. Yeah, I'm hoping that Juno News has enough money to defend themselves. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, and the story that these whack jobs tell us about the history of Canada is such BS. It is such crazy BS. It's total insanity. Like, the idea that the immigrants arriving to this country today have absolutely any correlation to the settlers who arrived here in 1867 is a complete joke. It's a complete joke. It was essentially all the English, the French, the Scottish, and the Irish, and they arrived to a brutal northern wasteland with absolutely nothing here. When the Indigenous were here, it was an absolutely brutal society, a brutal society. The woke lie so much about what was here when they arrived. It was a brutal society with killing all over the place. The French, the English, the toughest of the tough who were willing to brave the open sea showed up. The French, the English, the Scottish, and the Irish, and they built a civilization. They were settlers, and the settlers who arrived here have absolutely nothing in common with this current generation of people who arrive and they are given everything by the system. The idea that you would compare and contrast the two is a complete joke. It's my opinion. It's my opinion that that we need a total moratorium on immigration for at least the next 5 years. And then removal of there's already 750,000 people who are here illegally. There's going to be 3 million people here. There's going to be 3 million people here who are on expiring visas within the next 2 years who are already publicly stating that they're not going to leave. They are frequently publicly stating that they are not going to leave. Can you imagine that? An absolute joke. Our government is doing absolutely nothing to remove them, and they need to be removed. That's what we should be doing. We should be spending on our military, and we should be spending on CSIS to remove the people who are here illegally rather than going after Canadians' free speech. It's so sick what's happened to this country. We are heading the exact same direction as the UK. I don't know how many of you guys follow Charlie Veach on YouTube, but he's fantastic. He walks the streets in the UK and shows people what's going on. Christ is King. Yeah, God bless. Canada was founded on Christianity. Canada was founded on Christianity, the British parliamentary system, and common law. That's what founded this country. Now in the UK, they're seeing these massive these massive Muslim prayer groups It's total insanity. These massive Muslim prayer groups, it is a show of force. It is absolutely a show of force all outside their towns. And we are going to be seeing the exact same thing in Canada. We are just a couple of years behind the UK. We are going to be seeing the exact same thing here in Canada unless we reverse this and reverse this now. I think one of the best things that we can do is put as much pressure on our MPs, email our MPs as frequently as we possibly can, demanding an election, because I don't believe any of the polls that say that Mark Carney is wildly popular. I do not believe that whatsoever. I do not believe that for a second. I think this man is wildly unpopular. This little creep. He's got to be wildly unpopular. He has got to be wildly unpopular. I do not believe for 1 second the polling. I do not believe for 1 second the polling. Not at all. We need to demand an election because I have incredibly high confidence that Pierre would win an election. Would absolutely win an election. Would absolutely win an election. Guys, I just want to remind everybody I am live every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 7 p.m. Thank you so much for everybody's here. This is fantastic. Get so many ideas. So just a reminder, if you're here and you haven't, please like, subscribe. It really helps me with the algorithm. Thank you so much for everybody who sent in super chats. I so appreciate it. And in general, just everybody who supported Fight for Canada. Thank you so much. It means so much to me because we are going to fight and we are going to win this country back. I say that with 100% certainty. We are going to fight and we are going to win this country back because people are going to realize how dire and desperate this situation is. In Canada, we are in a dire and desperate situation right now. And unless things get reversed and unless things get reversed quickly, we will be a Muslim country. We will be a Muslim country. If you look at the number of countries, I find it so funny when people talk about white supremacy and all this garbage. When you look through the history books, the Muslims are by far the largest colonizers, by far the largest colonizers. They colonized all of Africa. They colonized all of the Middle East. And it is inherently they are always looking to expand. They are looking to take over. They don't show up to countries and assimilate. They do not show up to countries and assimilate. It's simply not what they do. They show up in countries to take over. And unless we wake up to what's going on, people think it's a joke. But in 5 years, Canada will be a Muslim country. I strongly believe that. I mean, the UK already large areas of the United Kingdom have been full on colonized. Large areas of the UK have already been full on colonized, and we are already seeing things in large areas of Canada as well. Large areas of Canada, like Brampton, for example. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much, Lars Start 420. Thank you so much. God bless. Thank you so much. I so appreciate it. Thanks, Lars Start. Really appreciate it, bro. Thank you. They are coming here to take over, and we need politicians. We need people who are willing to actually call it out and say what it is. It's an attempted takeover, in my opinion, by Muslims. It's an attempted takeover of Canada. They're trying to take over all of the West. They are trying to fully take over the West right now. You're seeing the same thing in the UK. They always scream. They scream about minority rights. Muslims will arrive in your country and scream about minority rights. As long as they're the majority, Thank you so much, Victoria. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you so much. I so appreciate the support, Victoria. Thank you. God bless. I really appreciate it. It's a Muslim invasion of Canada. And a lot of our pathetic, coward politicians are too scared to say it, but it's the truth. And we need to, as Canadians, start just saying exactly what's happening in this country. What's happening in this country is we are being invaded by a group of Muslims who will scream about minority rights until they are the majority. We're already seeing schools across the country literally say that they are not allowed to, Canadian students are not allowed to eat in their cafeterias because whatever the hell it is, Ramadan is going on. We're seeing it. We're just a couple years behind the UK. You look at Keir Starmer, that weak, pathetic man, looking through his little beanie eyes, looking through his spectacles. It's so pathetic, and he's like on his knees. Yeah, bacon's fantastic for you. He's literally on his knees for the Muslim invaders. Mark Carney is out there. I kid you not. Mark Carney is out here telling us Muslim values are Canadian values. Oh yeah, Mark Carney. I'm pretty sure that you have a trans child. Which of the 55 Muslim majority countries, you little creep, exactly would you like to send your trans child to? Please let me know. Is it Iran? Is it Iraq? Is it Palestine? All of these countries that you support. It's so pathetic seeing him criticize the United States for attacking Iran, the number one exporter of terror, who literally want to wipe out the West. Yeah, look at what's happening in Dearborn, Michigan. Yeah, there's already 2 million Muslims in Canada. They're pandering to the vote. The Muslims in Canada vote, having the BLT, exactly. The Muslims vote over the Muslim Party. Oh, thank you so much for the gifted subs, Elaine. Thank you so much. Thank you, Elaine. So appreciate it. Thank you so much. They vote over 85. Thank you, Elaine. So appreciate it. God bless. Thank you. They come here to take over, and they vote overwhelmingly liberal. They vote overwhelmingly liberal. That's one of the most nefarious things about it that nobody talks about. It is the fact that these masses of immigrants, and they overwhelmingly vote liberal. So they also ensure the fact that they're going to continue to win elections, because they know that new arrivals are going to overwhelmingly vote for the people who are going to let them take over in this society. It's the definition of insanity. We are seeing. Yeah, thank you, Elaine. Thank you so much. We are seeing the Muslim takeover of this country. Oh, and just so you guys know, also everybody with memberships, I'm also going to start doing more videos for members only. So thank you so much, everybody who's memberships. I'm going to start doing members only videos in the very near future. Please remember, everybody's here. If you could like, share, subscribe. Everybody who supported, thank you so much. I so appreciate it, guys. And it's going to help my legal challenge. I am going to challenge Bill C-9 as soon as it is passed. As soon as Bill C-9 is passed, I am going to go to the Superior Court of Canada to challenge it on the basis that it's just a blatantly obvious violation of Section 2B of our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Hey, Randy, how's it going? But in my opinion, besides Bill C-9, our God-given right to speak our mind, that's another thing that's nefarious about Bill C-9, is the fact that they're not going to let you criticize Islam anymore. Radical Islamists, radical jihadists, they're going to be able to, they're going to say it's Islamophobia. It's racist. It's, you know what I mean? And nobody is going to be allowed to criticize the Islamization. And it's so incredible, because when people talk about white supremacy, it's such a joke. The Muslims have colonized literally the entirety of Africa. You look at Nigeria. Unfortunately, Brenda, it is going to pass. Unfortunately, it is, but we have to fight it once it does pass. But March 2030, it is going to pass. But yeah, we will get God's judgment. It is going to pass. Thanks, Rock All Day. So appreciate it. It unfortunately is almost definitely going to pass, and they're going to try to make it illegal to criticize Islam. They want to. These communists hate Christianity. They hate Canadians who have been here for a long period of time. They're happy to see the Islamization. We're seeing the traditional red-green alliance, the same alliance that we always see between the commies and the jihadists, and it always ends badly for the commies. But for right now, it's a very useful partnership for these guys. But they're trying to shut down your right to criticize Islam. They are trying to shut down, make it illegal to criticize Muslims in this country. It's the absolute definition of tyranny. It's the definition of tyranny. Islam is a religion. The Quran is a religious text that says the most wild stuff you've ever seen. If you're not allowed to criticize that, we don't live in a free country. Muhammad, their prophet, married and impregnated a 9-year-old girl. He said that you could kill the infidels. Hey, Canadian Spider-Man. It is the number of bad ideas in the Quran, the number of violent ideas in the Quran, in my opinion, is unprecedented in any text. The idea that they are going to make it illegal for you to criticize them. And Salman Rushdie, you're exactly right, Apocalyptic 3620. Salman Rushdie is the perfect example. Salman Rushdie is the perfect example. He wrote a book criticizing Islam, and immediately a fatwa was put out on him. Yeah, exactly. So will I. I'll be in the news saying Carney's a weasel as well. A fatwa was put out on him saying that he should be eliminated. And this is what we see time and time again. We just saw, whether it's the mass shooting in Texas, in New York City, the bombs that were thrown, these people have proven time and time again. And when you look at the stats on terror attacks, overwhelmingly, it's one group who are committing them. You can gaslight us all you want. You can lie to us all you want. We can see it. We can see it with our own two eyes. We do not want to live in a country where there's thousands of people walking down every street dressed up as though they look like medieval executioners. That's not Canada. Thank you so much, Teresa. That's a great stat, Teresa. Thank you so much for the super chat. God bless. And you're exactly right. I've seen that statistic. 67,000 terrorist attacks pulled off by Islamists around the world since 9/11. 67,000. All the other religions, Christianity, Judaism, it's like in the hundreds. And this is 67,000. And they'll lie to you and they'll gaslight you and they'll say, oh, you're a racist. Oh, you're a xenophobe. It's insane. The statistics are absolutely insane. To claim that it is a religion of peace is the definition of insanity. It assumes that people don't have eyes and ears, don't see what's going on around them. It is the definition of insanity. Canadians are not stupid. Canadians see what's going on. And these people will cry about minority rights until they become a majority. It's the definition of insanity. The Canadian people see what's going on, and it's so funny when they talk about Canadians as colonizers. They are the largest colonizers by far. It's not even close. It's not even close. They are by far the largest colonizers. They've slaughtered hundreds of thousands of people in Nigeria recently. You don't hear about that in the news at all. You don't hear about the hundreds of thousands of Christians that have been slaughtered in Nigeria because it doesn't fit the story that the woke propagandists are trying to tell. Yeah, exactly. But hundreds of thousands of Christians have been slaughtered in Nigeria by Muslims, and the mainstream media does not cover that whatsoever because it does not fit the story that they're trying to tell. And Islamophobia, if anybody wants to learn about what Islam exactly, why does Carney go rule over there? You're exactly right. And if you want to hear about what Islamophobia is really about, go watch Christopher Hitchens. Nobody describes it better than Christopher Hitchens. It's a made-up word so that you cannot criticize a religion that promotes extremism. I've read so many lines from the Quran promoting violence, talking about Muhammad, their prophet, wiping out the infidel, wiping out his enemies. And by the way, Muhammad, apparently the man who received God's word directly, this man was an illiterate merchant who wrote every single word down perfectly on the first try. That's the story. In the 7th century, an illiterate merchant was given the entire story from God, and he wrote it all down on the first time perfectly. What an absolute joke. And the idea that to criticize that is Islamophobic? Are you joking me? Get out of here. That is the definition of insanity. That is the definition of insanity to call that Islamophobic. You can criticize ideas in a free country. Mark Carney, our right to criticize ideas does not come from the government of Canada. The government of Canada does not provide us with that right. That is a God-given right. And like I said, when you read through the Quran, it is, in my opinion, the motherlode of insane ideas. The amount of crazy passages, you can see why so much violent extremism comes from there. And if you criticize it whatsoever, they call you an Islamophobe. It's BS. It's total BS. It's a joke. And you look, Bill C-9 is going to be used. I tell you with 100% certainty, Bill C-9 is going to be used for anybody who criticizes Islam. Bill C-9 is going to be used for anybody who criticizes Islam. It's a joke. As a free Canadian, you can criticize any religion that you want. That's the point of living in a free country. That's what differentiates us, is that you have the right to speak your mind, to speak your truth. And the government of Canada is trying to shut that down. Yeah, exactly. Being afraid of killed is Islamophobia. It's so crazy. You now see mainstream news outlets on a very regular basis. You will see an Islamist pull out a terror attack. Whether we see it all over, we saw it in Bondi Beach in Australia. We saw it. We saw it in New York. We saw it in Texas. We see it all over the place. And then you see news reports. Bondi Beach goes out and I think 25 people killed. New York, they were throwing pipe bombs. Huge numbers of people killed in Texas. And then they'll come out and they'll say, we're very concerned after this attack about a rise in Islamophobia. And it's like, you guys cannot with a straight face gaslight like this. It's total insanity. It's total insanity. It's total insanity. And you look at what they have in New York now with Mayor Mamdani. I guarantee you, Mayor Mamdani's are coming to Canada if we continue to let these levels of immigration. I tell you with 100% certainty, that many more Mayor Mamdani's are going to be arriving to Canada. We already have pretty much versions of Mayor Mamdani in David Eby, that absolute crackpot. David Eby, and then Wab Kinew. Anybody see Wab Kinew talking crap about Donald Trump all the time? Look into Wab Kinew. Wab Kinew, these guys are the biggest hypocrites. Wab Kinew has been charged with DUI on several occasions. He was charged, a woman said she beat him, and then Wab Kinew thinks that he has the right. Yeah, David Eby's a nut job. And then Wab Kinew thinks that he has the right to go out here and lecture Donald Trump. It's truly insane, the lack of self-awareness there. When you've been charged with beating women and DUIs, you really should not be out here virtue signaling, lecturing somebody else. And then David Eby just recently, I guarantee you with 100% certainty, he was involved and he knew about the 2 million Vancouverites who may well be losing their homes in the very near future. I guarantee you that David Eby was well aware of that. He's a communist. He's happy to see Canadians lose their homes. He's absolutely happy to see Canadians lose their homes. Just want to remind everybody, I really appreciate it. Oh my God, that's so sad. I'm so sorry, Kimberly. Everybody, sorry, I want to say thank you so much. Please remember to like and share if you haven't. Thank you so much to everybody who sent in super chats that are going to support my challenge to beat Bill C-9. God bless. I so appreciate it. And yeah, thank you so much, everybody who's liked and shared. It really helps me with the algorithm. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, Bill C-9 is going to be passed. Look at it. They'll continue to allow the Muslim population to say whatever the heck they want. They are going to use Bill C-9, I guarantee you with 100% certainty, to go after the Christian population in Canada. I don't know, but Canadian Spider-Man, I know he was charged with one, but I know he was convicted of DUI. I do know that. Wab Kinew on several occasions has been charged with DUI, and I know he has at least one conviction. I don't know if he was only charged with beating or not, but let me just put it this way. I feel very confident in saying that Wab Kinew should not have the right to lecture Canadians, to virtue signal Canadians, just based on what I've seen from his record. Just based on what I've seen from this record. And communists actually always attack Christianity. It's a habit that you see them time and time again. In the Soviet Union, Christianity was brutally attacked. Stalin, Lenin, they went after Christianity with incredible vigor. They're very scared of God, very scared of the truth. That's why they welcome so many Muslims into the country. But they hate Christianity. They absolutely go after. Yeah, October 7th was absolutely horrible, and the idea that Israel is the only supporter. Israel is the only supporter of Christianity in the West, in the Middle East. In my opinion, it's such a brain dead thing to be against Israel. Israel is literally the only country stopping the total colonization by the Muslims in the Middle East. The only one. Are you kidding me? Look at a map, look at Israel on a map, and then look at all the Muslim countries and tell me that Israel is the colonizer. All those countries would blow Israel off the map if they could. I say that with 100% certainty. They are defenders of the West. They are defenders of the West over there. It's so low IQ to go after Israel. What, you're more supportive of Iran? Are you kidding me? Iran would wipe Canada off the face of the earth if they could. Read into Iran's constitution. Yeah, I totally agree. Read into Iran's constitution. They want to 100%. Yeah. Iran wants to wipe the West out. Our only friend in the West is Israel. Iran wants to eliminate the West. Iran wants to colonize the West. Iran just recently killed 100 Canadians when they shot down an airliner in the Ukraine. Iran is not our friend. And if you notice, these woke lefties, they always the woke lefties always side with Iran, side with Palestine. Just in general, you can look at who the woke left sides with, and almost 100% of the time, that's the side you don't want to be on. The side that these brain dead, these people who have serious mental issues, I can tell you with 100% certainty that you don't want to be on their side. That you don't want to be on their side. I know plenty of Jews who love Canadians, who love Canada. Are you telling me these Muslim majority countries don't come here to colonize? It's they are here. They are here to colonize. And in my estimation, if we continue immigration at this rate, it will, like, we will become a Muslim majority country. And the exact same thing is going to happen in the UK. The exact same thing. And Canadians are welcome. We have a prime minister who on a consistent basis makes statements like Muslim values are Canadian values. He says that on a consistent basis. Somebody should ask for a clarification on what exactly he means when he says Muslim values are Canadian values, and whether or not he would like to send his child over there. I believe he has a trans child. See how his trans child does over in Iran. You know what I mean? I can tell you with 100% certainty. Europe has become incredibly Muslim, and we are becoming the exact same thing here. Just a heads up for anybody who's in Montreal, I'd love to meet some people in person if anybody's interested, because I think we have to start meeting in person and organizing better. Like I said, I am going to be at the Liberal convention in early April. Yeah, exactly. He's going to be at Silvio, we should meet up sometime for sure. He's going the Liberal. Oh, awesome. Yeah. Let's meet up, guys. We'll figure out a time. I'll talk to you guys later. We'll figure out a time, because we have to start meeting in person and organizing. I think that's the next step that Conservatives need to start taking, is really start organizing, because we have a fight on our hands. Yeah, the Liberal Party of Canada is going to be holding their convention. The Liberal Party of Canada is going to be holding their convention that's well put. The Liberal Party of Canada is going to be holding the convention, and I want to be there to ask these clowns some questions. Yeah, he does. That'd be great. That'd be great, Jeff. Absolutely, that'd be great. Just a reminder to everybody, I am live every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 7 p.m. Wednesday, Friday, Sunday at 7 p.m. Thanks so much for you guys are here every time. In the chat, I get so many great ideas for YouTube, Twitter in the chat. I so appreciate it. So next time I'll be live is Friday at 7 p.m. It's every Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Fight for Canada live at 7 p.m. I so appreciate you guys who all support. I so appreciate it. But yeah, I'm going to be I am going to be at the Liberal Party convention. And if you guys, I'll have to ask you guys. It's in early April. I'll have to ask you guys beforehand what you think the smartest questions are to ask. Yeah, guys. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I'll see you guys all hopefully Friday at 7. I'll be at the Liberal Party convention. We can brainstorm some ideas to ask these clowns, as well as more ideas for Bill C-9 and how we're going to attack this. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much, guys. God bless. I'll hopefully see everybody on Friday night at 7 p.m. Thanks, everybody, for being here. God bless. Thank you so much. Have a great night, guys. I'll see you soon.